92 minutes and 48 seconds. Real Madrid are losing the Champions League final. They've been chasing this trophy for 12 years, and now they're running out of seconds. This should be the moment the story ends. For Real Madrid, it's usually where the story gets annoying. Because somehow, across 70 years, completely different teams keep arriving at exactly the same destination. Different players, different managers, different eras, same trophy cabinet problem. 15 European Cups, more than twice as many as any other club. Winning one can happen. Winning 15 needs an explanation. So let's rewind. Every big club has ambitions. Madrid ended up with something heavier, an expectation. Win domestically, obviously, but Europe became personal. It starts almost as soon as the competition itself does. The first European Cup final is played in 1956. Madrid win it. 1957, again. 1958, 1959, 1960, 5 European Cups. 5 years. Still, the longest winning streak in the history of the competition. And at the center of it was Alfredo Di Stéfano. Calling him a striker doesn't really do the job. But those 5 trophies did something bigger than fill a cabinet. They attached 2 ideas together, Real Madrid and European success. The reputation came first. Winning creates prestige. Prestige attracts players. Great players create more success. Real Madrid's recruitment strategy: find an extraordinary player and buy him. Figo, Zidane, Ronaldo, Raúl already at the club. The Galácticos weren't just a team, they were football celebrity concentrated into one dressing room. And in the 2002 final, Zidane produces that volley against Leverkusen. Madrid win European Cup number 9. It feels like the machine should just keep going. It doesn't. 12 years pass without another European Cup. Plenty of transfers, plenty of managers, but no number 10. Because Madrid learned that prestige can bring you the players. It cannot, by itself, make the players a team. Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. A European final between neighbors, and Madrid aren't just chasing another trophy. They're chasing La Décima. Number 10. 12 years of obsession. Atletico score. Then they defend and defend. Madrid attack. Nothing. Time disappears. Then, deep into stoppage time, another corner. Luka Modric walks over. He sends it in. Sergio Ramos attacks the space. 92-48. A center-back has just saved Real Madrid's European season. Ramos gave them another 30 minutes. And Atletico unravel. Bale, Marcelo, Cristiano, 4-1. 12 years of waiting finished by one corner and Sergio Ramos's forehead. Madrid didn't just recover their European crown that night. They rediscovered a version of themselves. And what followed was ridiculous. Cristiano Ronaldo was the obvious headline. His Champions League numbers looked like someone forgot to set the difficulty properly. But Madrid weren't one player. Casemiro protected the center. Kroos controlled the rhythm. Modric escaped pressure. And Cristiano finished everything. The clever part was the balance. Structure where they needed it, and freedom where their best players could decide the match themselves. 2016, European champions. 2017, the first team to retain the trophy in the Champions League era. 2018, they win it again. 3 consecutive Champions Leagues. At the time, nobody had even managed 2. And then they do something dynasties generally try to avoid. They lose almost everyone. Cristiano leaves, Ramos leaves. Varane, Casemiro, Benzema. Kroos retires. Piece by piece, the spine of the great Madrid side disappears. Normally, this is where the documentary says, then came the difficult rebuilding years. Madrid apparently skipped that bit. Vinicius, Rodrigo, Valverde, Camavinga. Young players stop being the future and start deciding Champions League ties. In 2022, Madrid win it again. Then Bellingham joins, and 2 years later, number 15. Different legs, different personalities, different football. Same shirt, same demand. And this is usually where somebody says, Champions League DNA. Nice phrase, not an explanation. For that, look at what happens when Madrid are supposed to lose. Think about the great Madrid comeback nights. PSG, Chelsea, City. Same uncomfortable feeling. Madrid concede at the Bernabéu, and instead of the building accepting the result, it leans forward. The players know what has happened here before. The crowd knows. The visitors know too. History creates belief. Belief changes behavior. Madrid attack, the crowd gets louder, the opponent drops 5 meters deeper. Now every clearance matters. Pressure creates hesitation. Hesitation creates momentum. Momentum creates another comeback. And every comeback becomes evidence for the next one. That's the Bernabéu effect, not magic. A feedback loop that's been building for decades. And here's one of the strangest things about Real Madrid. They don't really have one sacred tactical identity. They change. Mourinho tore teams apart in transition. Ancelotti gave elite players freedom inside structure. Zidane changed shape to fit the opponent. 4-3-3. A diamond. 2 forwards. 1. The method was negotiable, but one thing survives every tactical reset. The target. Madrid's footballing identity isn't one formation. It's the expectation that whatever formation you choose should eventually win this competition. So what actually made Madrid the kings of Europe? It wasn't one generation, those disappeared. It wasn't one coach or one system. Even the competition itself changed. What Madrid built was a cycle. The first victories created prestige. Prestige attracted elite players. Elite players brought more victories. Those victories created experience. Experience created belief. And every new European Cup made the next generation inherit an even bigger expectation. That's why 92-48 wasn't the explanation. It was evidence. 15 European Cups, more than twice as many as any other club. Other clubs enter the Champions League believing they can win it. Real Madrid enter believing they should. You don't become kings of Europe by winning it once. You become kings of Europe when winning it starts to feel like part of the job description.